Hey there, and I plan to make a video, but before I make the video that I'm going to make, I thought it'd be good to address another video. Yesterday I made probably, I think it was my first actual live WWE pay-per-view, whatever, um, review. And since then, I've heard a lot of things online, and even on my Facebook, there's been a few comments about the Rumble. People seem to be going kind of batshit on this thing, and I kind of get it, but I think we got to kind of put it into context for a second. And last night we watched Rey Mysterio and Sheamus and Batista and a bunch of other people get booed because somebody wasn't in the Rumble. Somebody who wasn't advertised for the Rumble, who had been in a taxing match early in the night and shouldn't have been thought of to be in the Rumble, wasn't in the Rumble. And the audience couldn't grasp that fact. And apparently a lot of fans couldn't either. And even some wrestlers, Mick Foley, for instance, he tweeted about it and went on his Facebook to kind of like do a whole kind of a rant. And it got me to thinking, did WWE make a mistake by not putting Daniel Bryan in the Rumble last night? Even if Batista was going to win it, should they have placed Bryan somewhere within that Rumble? Well, I actually got to thinking about it, and the answer, surprisingly, is no. Actually, I don't think they should have. People complained about the booking of last night's of the matches of last night's Rumble, and I mean, we can glaringly look at the Cena Orton match, and across the board, we're going to have everybody actually say, yes, that was a horrible match. It was extremely badly done. And we can look at the Big Show Brock Lesnar match, and we can debate that one back and forth whether it was not whether it was a good match, but whether you think it added something. That's in the eyes of the beholder. Perception is key. The Bryan Wyatt match was pretty much the match last night that the singles match that stole the show, which is awesome and great. It was a long match. It was a physical match. A lot of things happened between both those wrestlers, so it was good to see. And I didn't expect to see Bryan in the Rumble, and I was really surprised that there was audience members that actually kind of expected that. We had Daniel Bryan. I keep getting the name wrong because it's not his real name. Basically, in a great match that advanced his storyline, put over Bray Wyatt big time, put himself over, kept the feud going. That's been doing well, and heightened both of those wrestlers. Now, after such a physical feud and having him play up the concussion angle and the injuries and what's happened to him, having him run out in the middle of the Rumble wouldn't quite make sense, not storyline-wise and not character-wise. It would actually come to the point of the less is more thing. We knew Batista was going to win this Rumble. I'm sorry, you had to be kind of deluded if you didn't know that Batista was going to win the Royal Rumble last night. He came back the week before. Obviously, out of The Rock, they're pushing this guy because he's come back into it. But unlike The Rock, I think he's coming back in on a more steady basis. And you know what? Batista didn't deserve to be booed last night like that. Rey Mysterio didn't deserve to be booed last night like that. And neither did Sheamus or any other guys. And it's a shame, and it's embarrassing as a wrestling fan to see the crowd do something like that. The guys were out there in a long match, working their butts off, and still all the crowd could do was chant no and cry for Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson. Okay, Daniel Bryan. There. The American Dragon, guys. He was the American Dragon before. But it's great that he's popular. But this popularity in this way can hurt him backstage as well as on TV. You don't remember the no chant with Austin, and it still goes on sometimes, even though Austin's not there. Austin didn't like the no chant. Fans, for some reason, enjoyed doing it. It was stupid. It made no sense. It was annoying, and it hurt the flow of the whole storyline sometimes, and when people were trying to talk. But hey, why not? When some wrestling fans catch on to something, they like to squeeze it until it's... You can't get blood of a rock, but they try to. In the Royal Rumble, we had the Bulgarian wrestler come out. What's his name again? Dusaf, something like that. But with a very strong debut. Booked very well. Lasted a while. Showed off, great strength. Made me, who doesn't watch NXT, actually want to watch NXT and see more of this guy and see maybe they're advancing from back in the days when I used to watch NXT and it was like a crap show. They brought in the Shield, had each one of them have definitely highlights within the match. They all seemed really strong. They stayed for a long period of time. They advanced their storyline. They brought more character to Roman Reigns, who actually is a big guy, but he needs that push character more than, say, Dean Ambrose does, who has the talking ability already there. And I'm impressed with Roman Reigns. I thought he did a great job. Making him eliminate more people than ever in the Rumble was a really good move. That's thinking ahead. You've gotten Daniel Bryan over already. You've gotten Wyatt over already. The other Wyatts were in the Wyatt family were in the Rumble, and they got over as being fairly strong for the part that they had to do in the Rumble. We brought in some older people that just for fun, JBL, Kevin Nash. Nobody expected them to last long, but they were just brought in for a nostalgia factor. And that's not bad. The Rumble has always done that. How is that anything different than any other year that they bring back some old person, like the Honky Tonk Man or someone like that? It's just somebody brought back in for the nostalgia factor, something that the fans can connect to. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with it before, and there's nothing wrong with it now just because your wrestler didn't make it into the Rumble. He did make it into the Rumble for a reason. His storyline was at the first of the pay-per-view, and it didn't need any follow-up in the Rumble. There was no need. There's zero need for to put him in the Rumble. Daniel Bryan is over. Listen to the crowd. He is over. They are not squashing the guy or burying the guy. In actuality, they put him in probably the most prolific match of the night, and the one that people are going to talk about and remember. And the crowd there was pretty crappy at the end of the match. I gotta say it, and it distracted. And for me, I felt bad for Batista. I felt bad for Rey Mysterio, who's coming back. He's number 30. He has no say in how he's being booked or when he's going out there, or if somebody or X or Y factor person is not in the Rumble or in the Rumble. He's not taking his spot. You got to remember, at the end of the day, this is prearranged stuff, and it's written for a storyline that's going in a specific way. And I could understand if you had watched the pay-per-view and Daniel Bryan was nowhere on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view at all, and you felt like he wasn't being used, or he was in this throwaway match in a pre-match thing or something like that, where he gets this horrible match, and it's they give it very little time. But that's not what happened. They took the guy, they put him in a storyline, they gave him a lot of time to perform a quality match, something that I'm sure he was exhausted and glad to rest for afterwards, and yet you want more. So they gave you more. They took the wrestlers, the up-and-comers, put them in the Rumble, and they actually pushed the guys. They actually had guys that should be pushed, out there being pushed. We got to see the normal big move from, oh my God, who's he? Kofi Kingston, yeah. Kofi? Yeah, Kofi Kingston. And we got to see some other wrestlers come out there. And it was fun. So And that's it. If you didn't see Bryan in the Rumble, that's why, because it didn't do him any good to be in the Rumble. It wasn't like he was going to win it. We knew Batista was going to win this. And you know what? What's wrong with Batista winning it? Well, you can cheer when The Rock leaves wrestling for years and comes back and goes into the main event of WrestleMania and, you know, GM's WrestleMania and all that stuff. But this guy can't come back. You're going to boo him because you like X guy? And what? So when it was The Miz against Cena and The Rock was overshadowing that was okay because you guys didn't like The Miz. But you guys like this guy, so now it's suddenly not okay. No, it doesn't work that way. Everybody got over the way they should last night, and well, everybody should have gotten over the way they should last night. The crowd reacted in a very silly and immature manner, and unfortunately, so did a lot of the internet. But when you're a wrestling fan, you kind of get used to this. It happens a lot on here, and it's sad to say, but there's a lot of armchair managers, bookers that can't see beyond what they want. They kind of have tunnel vision, and they don't think outside the box. The WWE has done that, and I have been a guy that has smashed on the WWE for everything they did. When they did the CM Punk storyline, and they messed it up big time by bringing him back too early and stuff, I was, well, one, I was not watching on a regular basis because I was turning the TV off because it was annoying and boring. And two, when it's bad, I will come on here and I will tell you that it's bad. But right now, they made the right call. Unfortunately, some of the people online didn't. Thanks for watching, and for me right now, it's time for tea.